All right, everybody. So listen, I'm really grateful for each and every one of you, for the support, the subscriptions, the comments, the likes, even the dislikes, whatever. I appreciate the engagement. And I hope that those of you who are disliking the videos are going to stick around and watch the other videos and participate in the conversations, because this is what communication is. It's about sharing opinions, valuing the other person's perspective, and being respectful in return, okay? So we don't know everything. So humble yourself. Humble yourself and say, you know what? I'm here to learn. I want to learn something. So let's learn. My name is Adam. I go by Coach HardgainZ. I am literally the most hard-gaining ectomorph I've ever met, personally, even as a coach of over 21 years now. I've been bodybuilding since I was 17. That's over 26 years. Yes, I'm 42, and I just had a spinal fusion 9 months ago. I had a brain injury 7 years ago. I got cracked in the skull by one of my dump trucks, bruised my brain, and shifted and shocked my pituitary gland. Now remember, through the hypothalamus engagement, the pituitary gland is what signals and maintains your hormones. So, my hormones got fucked. Now, I've gotten a lot of requests to start doing more frequent episodes. I mean, a bunch of you guys have asked for more information. And so, I don't know if you knew this, but a few of my other channels, yes, I have a few other channels, one which does actually make me income every month. I get a check from AdSense through YouTube in my account every month, and the channel's doing quite well, so I'm grateful for that. We have a few viral videos on that channel. It's under my name, Adam A. Neely, but there's another guy, Adam Neely, who owns the name pretty much. So you have to search The New Woodworker, which was my old channel name. So search The New Woodworker. You'll find my main channel. I don't talk too much about gear, but I'm open about it there, because I talk about my spinal fusion recovery and my journey and all the stuff I've been through, but I'm open and honest about everything. So I can't just say, hey, I'm recovering really well from my spinal fusion without telling you that I'm on gear. Because why were steroids created? That's a good question. So let's talk about that in this podcast. But first, I really want to thank you guys for the engagement, for the conversations. We've actually had some really good conversations. I love seeing you guys converse with each other. That's what this is about. The other angle of this channel is about addiction recovery. Now, I've lost a lot of friends, a lot of people to addictions. I don't want to lose any more, okay? I battle my own demons on a daily basis. I walk through darkness. I recover from my addictions every day. I guess there's no other way to put it. Every day, I am striving to recover from my addictions. And that's all we can do. And we're going to falter, and we're going to go backwards. But the point is that we still need to move forward. We can't go backwards and give up. That's what I won't allow. That's what this channel is for. I'm a father of 6 kids. I've got 6 amazing kids. I have started, owned, operated almost a dozen businesses by now. I do logo and branding. I develop a logo. I develop an idea, a concept, a service. Most of my companies have been service-based. Tree and landscape service, construction service, custom furniture service, handrail company, photo, video, music production facility, an auto body shop, custom motorcycle shop, fabrication shop, and whatever. All right, so all that stuff. I have ADHD, if you couldn't tell. And then after my brain injury 7 years ago, it did change me a bit. But it changed me in good ways as far as I can tell. It made me want to stop and think more before I react. That's something that came through my brain injury. I used to react really fast because where I grew up, I had to. I've been in lots of fights. The first time I was jumped was in the 3rd grade by 3 older 8th grade girls, okay? I was a skinny little white kid. They pulled me off the bus by my backpack and just stomped me all over in front of everybody, okay? And after that, the fights just kept coming, and literally through college. Fortunately for me, I was very blessed. My adopted father is a PFS instructor, Progressive Fighting Systems instructor. So I was able to train with some of the Gracies in the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu family. I was able to train with Paul Vunak, who instructed the Navy SEALs. And I was able to get a lot of experience very quickly, and that did wonders for me. Okay, but this podcast here, I think we're going to start these episodes. I guess it's not really a podcast. I got a microphone in front of me and we're recording it, so you can call it whatever you want to call it, I guess. But yeah, hold on. I try to stay away from energy drinks because obviously I prefer my pre-workout to be my only source of caffeine for the day because I'm on so much kratom all day. And, you know, kratom is similar to caffeine, but, well, kratom's a whole, we know that. That's not for this episode. All right. Now, I recently had my spinal fusion. I was in bed. I was depressed. I was anxious. I was going through a lot. It was really tough. I had been working so hard to support my family for so many years. I basically just gave my body to support my family, and my back and my legs just got destroyed. I will probably never be the same because of the nerve damage down my legs, the permanent nerve damage on my sciatic nerves. They're always on fire. They're always tingly. And then the longer I'm on my feet, the more painful that tingle gets, and it becomes pins and needles. Then it becomes like stabbing all down my sciatic nerves. My scar was supposed to be about 1 inch, and it's actually about 6 to 7 inches long because my surgeon continued to find nerve damage. So he cut nerves, moved nerves, stretched nerves, and I don't know, did a lot of other things. I had chips of bone from my vertebrae breaking off all over the place, and so he went in and got most of that out. My spinal fusion, as of right now, 9 months later, was a success. And I am grateful that I got that surgeon specifically to do it. So there's a little bit about my spinal fusion. I have worked really hard to support my family, and I gave my body for that, and I literally destroyed my body. But my kids were very grateful and are very grateful. My kids are amazing. I literally have the most amazing kids. They're very respectful. They're hard workers. They're polite, and that's how I've raised them. Those are the traits that I've raised them to have. So I see a lot of shitty podcasts out there. I really do. Like YouTube influencers in the fitness industry calling themselves bodybuilders. I don't know. I don't know what the appeal is for most of you. I'm serious. Let me know. Like maybe this is a big question for today's episode. What the fuck do you see in these other podcasts with these YouTube influencers that call themselves bodybuilders? A lot of them are fake natties. We know that already. But is it the information that you like? Is it the presentation that you like? Is it the influencers that you like? Like, I want feedback. I'm legit. I'm asking you guys a question. From my perspective, I've spent most of my life in the entertainment industry. I admit, not the adult entertainment industry. I started modeling at the age of 8, 9. I started acting shortly thereafter. I did commercials. I did quite a bit of modeling up into high school and into college. But then I was also a musician. I was a professional level guitarist, bassist, singer, songwriter, and I got into a band called Small Town Hero. We ended up getting pretty far. We had national radio play, and not hugely global, but we definitely had good national radio play. We had some billboards in Philadelphia. We were a Philly-based band. Some big billboards on like Broad Street and like South Street, like the big streets in Philly. So we were a pretty big deal in Philly, and that was really exciting. I mean, we got to do like festivals and a little bit of touring, and you know, one of my favorite memories was when we shared the stage, or we opened up for Incubus Dashboard Confessional. And I'm on stage, and I look off to my side, and I love Dashboard Confessional. I love Chris Carrabba. He got me through some times, okay? Just sitting with the headphones on was amazing. I look off to my side, and I'm sitting there rocking out, and I see Chris Carrabba standing right off stage with this big dude who ended up being his drummer, I think. And Chris is just jamming out to one of my band's songs. And he looked up, and he goes, yeah, just gives me a little wink. But that was a really cool moment for me because that was like the respect wink. That was the respect moment. We were a fun band. We had a lot of pop punk songs. And then we went through some legal battles over our name and etc. But then in 2003, I lost function of my organs. I was bodybuilding. I was eating 6,000 calories a day. And I mean, that's legit. 6,000. I worked my way up. 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, 4,500 up, etc. Remember, that's etc. Etc. Not etc. or etc. or any other shit. It's etc. Okay. Now, I lost function of my organs, and I was dying. I lost 50 pounds that I had put on naturally, completely naturally, and I worked my ass off for every one of those pounds. I got deathly ill, lost a ton of weight, went back down to 120 pounds at 5'10". I'm 5'10". I lost everything, and I had to leave the music industry. I could barely leave the house. I was dying, and I went through the gamut of different surgeons, different doctors, different professionals. And they finally told my mother that I was dying and they couldn't save me, and that I only had 2 months left to live. Now, that was in 2003. So, through the grace of God and many blessings, many prayers, and a complete shift of life and energy, I believe that I was saved from that, and I continued to build back up, but I had to start all over again. I don't want to focus too much on my trials right now, so maybe we'll leave that at that one. So let me get to the point of today's episode. The number one thing that has been the most helpful practice during my blasting, cruising, and enhancement, okay? This. Logs. But as soon as I went enhanced, I started logging everything in these. And I mean, these logs, I write notes. They're they're small weekly planners. For instance, this is 2022, this year's. I log everything in here, and I'll get you guys a closer look at this, but like, I log everything. I log my dosages, I log my compounds, I log the AI I need, I log where I pin, I log the time of day that I pin, which is always the same, first thing in the morning. I log if I had any PIP. I indicate the duration of time that I've been on each compound. I log everything in this. And so this has been so important to me. This is just equally as important as logging my training. And I've been logging my training mostly yeah, that's not true. All right, when I first started training, I logged everything for at least 5 years. Remember, I've been training for 26 years, okay? I started at 17, I'm 42, that's 26, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, we're almost at 20. Remember, I have a brain injury. Math is not so easy with a brain injury. Whatever, you guys get the point. I was 17, I'm 42 now. That's how long I've been training. I've been logging my workouts for the most part, but then I also haven't. So either way, logging my training and then logging my enhancement has been crucial for me. But remember, guys, steroids were created for medicinal purposes. They were created to repair the body, the muscle, the tissue, the skeletal system. They weren't necessarily created to be a performance-enhancing drug for the most part. Obviously, some were. But there are steroids like DECA that is phenomenal on muscle repair, joint lubrication. I mean, I couldn't have gotten through the last 2 years leading up to my spinal fusion if it weren't for DECA, because the pain was so severe on a daily basis, and I still needed to climb trees and swing a sledgehammer. I probably shouldn't have, clearly, but I needed to support my family, and I was willing to. So I kept going. I kept working, and DECA enabled me to do that. A lot of these steroidal compounds were created for a purpose, okay? Hypogonadism, obviously, testosterone was the creation for that. And they've been around for a long time. Now, there is a vast misunderstanding about Proviron and its origination. So go watch this video that I made. It's brief. It's just a 60-second short. But guys, every single video that I've seen online about Proviron, from a doctor, clinic, bodybuilder, coach, everything is wrong about the creation and origination of Proviron. So go watch that video, just give you a better understanding. Now, but logging my enhancement in these little logs and looking back at pictures and saying, okay, now I'm going to throw up a picture real quick. This picture here, I would consider pretty shredded. now I can go back, knowing when that picture was taken, I can go back into my log and I can see, you know, on that picture, I was actually on 500 mgs of testosterone cypionate and 400 mgs of DECA a week, pinning Monday and Thursday. I responded pretty well to that. My diet was super clean. My training was pretty hard. I was working a lot. Didn't do any cardio. Didn't do any abs. Dead serious, 0 cardio and 0 abs. But I worked really hard, constantly. I never stopped moving. And I have always done a lot of supersets and a lot of trisets because that's how I get my cardio in, because the impact of even walking, you know, let alone running, but walking was even painful for me because of my spinal issues and the nerve damage. So I would train, I would make sure that I was seated, I would just go from one exercise to the next, superset. Keep my metabolic rate up, and I would just get through 2 hours of a workout. And that kept me looking like this. But remember, I've learned my body so well, I can dial in my diet, dial in my training, and I can just make it work, okay? Now this picture here, this is a bulk. Clearly, I'm round. That is still just test and DECA. Now that's 300 test and 180 DECA a week. Clearly, my diet was different. My main source of carbs for bulking is rice. I just increase the rice or decrease the rice depending on what I want to achieve. But I can look back at my logs and I can know what I was taking that helped enhance that look, okay? Remember, steroids are enhancement. That's what it is. Steroids aren't the fucking magic pill. If you take juice, if you take gear, if you take steroids, if you take anabolics, it's not just going to suddenly zap you into a bodybuilder. People have a huge misunderstanding on this. But if you dial in your diet, dial in your training, and you have a goal in mind, you know how to do it, or you have a proper coach who can take you down that road, you'll achieve it. The anabolics will help you dial that in perfectly. Now, I certainly do not condone the use of steroids for anyone young. You guys are way too fucking young to be taking this shit. I did 23 years naturally. I lost everything over and over and over. Went back down to 120 pounds at least half a dozen times and had to come back. I didn't get to be that guy who bulked up, got to get big, and then stayed there. I didn't get to be that guy. That wasn't my journey. My journey was filled with a lot more ups and downs. A lot more trials and hardships than most of the people I know. But I'm not complaining about it. I'm not touting that. I'm just informing you, okay? And it is what it is. My journey is my journey. Your journey is your journey. We can support each other on these journeys and we can take it together. Now, guys, I don't want this to be like a super long video. I don't think it needs to be. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. It's been great talking with you. I hope that you enjoyed me talking to you. I hope to hear from you. I've put out enough information in this episode that I hope that you will all leave comments. I hope that you will all participate in a conversation, in a polite, respectful, cordial conversation, because that's what we do as adults. All right, guys, I'm Coach HardgainZ. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, tap the bell so that you can receive notifications every time I release a new video. Stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.